FPL Gameweek 27 transfers and team selection. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at which are the top transfers that you should be bringing in this game week, as well as how we did in Game Week 26, so we can take a look at why I'm going to be bringing in these players in Game Week 27. This is Fancy Football G. I'm your main cat, so without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys. I got a red arrow, but don't panic. Everybody, it's okay. This was either gonna go one way or the other, and I guess it went the other. But I got a red arrow this game week. I'm glad I had Lasner. I think he really helped me. It could have been a lot more worse because I really went with a differential team. I think I was really unlucky when it came to captaincy, considering Bournemouth got a red card and Dango was moved to the left of the flank. So didn't really, along with the red card, really honestly didn't help at all. On top of that, all the players I was really going up against returned. So really glad I had Lasner in my pocket. It really would have went a lot more horribly. It really, I think it didn't matter who you went with captaincy in terms of alternative between Isak or Mbeumo, or you continue to stick with Salah. They all very much got the same amount of points. So it was one of those game weeks. Yeah, but we move. I'm still happy with my rank considering where I'm at. I think most people would be. So yeah, right now it's about basically how do we optimize our team and continue to move. So the first thing I want to do is really take a look at the players that I'm looking at, and I think we're going to start off most obviously with the first player. I got them down here for you guys. It's Matheus Cunha, man in form who's scored 3 games on the trot. And I think it's really obvious. I am looking at either moving out Rodgers or Ollie Watkins in terms of my attack or my team. And Cunha, definitely, when it comes to the strike force, he's the guy. I think other mentions is, of course, Mateta and, of course, Isak, but both are blanking Game Week 29. So I think if you're looking for a striker who's also fairly cheap, then Cunha is definitely the guy who's also in form and actually got a great run of fixtures coming in ahead of him. So it's definitely a no-brainer. I don't think we need to talk much about him. It's either you use him or you lose him. So yeah, I think someone who's also very tempting right now is Jared Bowen, the man that hit the nail in the coffin of Arsenal's season again. West Ham, the hammer, Jared Bowen himself. He is, I think, slowly building up some form along with the team, considering they are starting to sort of understand what it is Potter needs as well. They performed really well. They're going to be playing Leicester. I think it's a great entry point for him as well. 7.3. Very low owned, another differential if you're looking to gain some rank as well. So yeah, also it seems like a bonus monster in the sense of when he does score, he does get that bonus. So I would definitely consider him if you're looking for a midfielder and you've got the money. Of course, other mentions, of course, is, an Mbeumo, but I'm just trying to stick to some differentials for those people who are trying to gain rank. I think that's really the main thing that's going on right now in this end of the season, where you're trying to differentiate yourself from the others as well. So Jared Bowen is somebody you can definitely consider. Their run of fixtures as well starts to look good. I think in the run of probably 7, they've got Newcastle and Liverpool, and the rest of the guys have got Ipswich as well. I think they've got Southampton, but they've got Wolves, yeah, their fixtures look pretty good. I think they just got those 2 fixtures of Newcastle and Liverpool, who don't really look all that appetizing, but I think by the time they play Liverpool, they could look somewhat put together, but you could take them out by that time, so you never know. Yeah, Southampton, they have them in Game Week 33. So they would have them in the double if they do double in Game Week 33. So he's definitely an option there for you. And then another guy who's looking very tempting is a Pedro Neto. Now, hear me out here, okay? Pedro Neto is playing in the 9th position there, but he really seemed really involved in that Chelsea attack. And I say that because he was playing a central position, but you saw him come out wide a lot, opening up the central spaces for players like Cole Palmer to attack, as well as Nkunku as well. I think he was looking a lot better. Another player I would mention, the AI Hub really likes him as a suggestion, but I actually like Pedro Neto, considering he's also on set pieces as well. He did get a return, and he also got one in the West Ham game as well. I just love the way he's highly involved. So I won't lie to you, is very tempting for me, considering his 2 fixtures right now, and also consider that he is a player who's definitely going to be playing in the blank Game Week 29 as well as the blank Game Week 34, predicted blank Game Week 34, because of Chelsea's availability and being knocked out of the cup. So he's someone you can keep long term, especially if he does well. And I think these 2 game weeks, I wouldn't be surprised if he was on the end of 3 to 4 returns, being involved in 3 or 4 returns. So yeah, Pedro Neto, I think someone to consider. Maybe Nkunku as well, but I just feel like Pedro Neto is really highly involved at attack. So someone to definitely consider. Another player is Antoine Semenyo. Now, reason why I'm putting him up is because, yes, slowly owned, also slightly informed from Putu there. Hasn't necessarily returned really, but as much as everybody would have liked. But the reason why I pick him out is because Evan Nilsson is back, and so that could mean that a lot of minutes can be taken away from either Clifford or Dango. Now, what was interesting is Dango got moved to the left, and Clifford got substituted on time, as he usually does, round about the 70th minute mark. So not sure what it is there in terms of, Clifford always getting substituted out, even though he's been a very impactful player. But Evan Nilsson was brought in, and Dango played a lot of minutes. And I think he still played. I think when Evan Nilsson came in, Dango was still in, and Dango was later taken out. So it seems like Dango can still play with Evan Nilsson coming back, and it seems like the minutes is going to be taken more off from Clifford. So if you're looking for a 90-minute man in that Bournemouth team, it's definitely going to be Semenyo. If you're still looking to move to Bournemouth, and I wouldn't necessarily go to Evan Nilsson. Yes, I think just rather look at his minutes and see if you want to hold yourself from jumping onto the Bournemouth team. I think their form could definitely still change. I think let's remember they got a red card, and it was really hard to deal with that. Cunha and crew there, the Wolves team, were very impressive, been very impressive lately. So let's not take it as if their team is starting to dip in form. But yeah, it's rather just monitor them and see how they go along. In terms of other players, defensively, I think going back to the Wolves team, I think Aït-Nouri is somebody you can consider who's going to be playing in that blank. They're going to be playing at Southampton as well. So if you're looking for a defensive player, you can definitely bring him in. He did go off with a bit of a knock, so I would monitor and wait till team news, if there is any team news, considering the deadline is going to be on Tuesday. Who has been impressive defensively is Tottenham. I think they have had some tricky games, not easy, tricky, but they still managed to get the clean sheets there with Vicario coming back. So is Doggy back as well, but someone who has been impressive is Jed Spence, who did get the goal as well. So he's returned in the past 3, considering clean sheets as well. So that is, if you want to look at a team that's going to be also not blanking in game week, predicted game week 34, and you're looking to maneuver that game week just like I am, then that's definitely somebody you can bring in as well. So yeah, in terms of goalkeepers, I think somebody who's been on roll as well is a Mark Flecken. You can definitely bring him in if you do have keeper trouble and you are looking to actually take out your keeper. Then yeah, he's definitely playing in the game week 29 and also in form. And I think their fixtures are still pretty good. And you should get some save points as well as potentially some clean sheets. So yeah, I think that covers it when it comes to transfers and the players that you should be considering and looking at as well. Now, I think let's take a look at my team selection. But before we go on to my team selection as well, one thing I would like to ask you guys is to please hit that subscribe button if you are loving the content. It really goes a long way. Please remember to do that. Really, really helps the channel and supports me and lets me know that you actually love the content. So yeah, really just hit that button and I really, really would appreciate that. Thank you so much. Now, let us go to my team selection. In goals, I'm going to go with David Raya. He is playing Nottingham Forest away. We do have Everton against Brentford away as well, and we all know how strong. Brentford is at home as well. So I definitely think that goals are going to be flying in, considering Everton's performance in that second half there. I really expected them to actually get a clean sheet at Goodison Park against Man United. It was surprising Man United's fight back. But yeah, so did Newcastle and Nottingham Forest as well. Just also try to fight back there. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. But I think I'll go with Raya on this one. Moving into the defense, I am going to bring back the big boys, Trent Alexander-Arnold playing Newcastle at home, as well as Gabriel as well there against Nottingham Forest. And then also Munoz there against Aston Villa. Crystal Palace haven't necessarily been performing all that well at home. Just hoping Munoz could be at the end of another attacking return, quite honestly. And Virgil against Newcastle. What really irritated me this game week going against them was they decided to keep a clean sheet against the likes of Man City, but they couldn't do that with all those other teams. Yeah, man. You know, that's just FPL for you, dude. That is FPL for you. Yeah, that's FPL. What can you say? But I think all these players here, as you can see, have the attacking potential in terms of getting a header with Gabriel and Virgil van Dijk. As much as it's been a while for both Virgil and Gabriel to really do that. But I trust that they can do something as well and keep out Newcastle and hopefully even keep out Nottingham Forest there. So in the midfield, I've gone with the trio of Cole Palmer, Mo Salah and Dango there. I think captaincy, considering Mo Salah's performance, I think it's obvious, regardless of the fact that it's Newcastle. It's the fact that it's Newcastle at home. So I think it's clear Mo Salah should get the captaincy here, as well as Cole Palmer and Chelsea's form haven't necessarily been impressive. It will. I believe it will definitely turn because it is Southampton, but there's just no guarantee considering that Southampton themselves have really got a fight back in them. And so they can give Chelsea a bit of a problem there. I see definitely a 2-1 to a 3-1. How much Cole Palmer can get from there is really a question. But I mean, Mo Salah's proven that it doesn't matter who's in front of him, he can basically get the return there. So trust me, tough to go up against him, and I think you need real tough opposition to really go up against Mo Salah, which I thought I would have had with City, but clearly that was not the case. Dango there ahead of currently on my bench is Gibbs White as well as Rodgers. Again, you know who I'm thinking of bringing in. You saw those transfer players. Just scroll back if you haven't. Yeah, I think Gibbs White has been in form, and I think Dango as well has opportunity there at Brighton. And on top of that, I think Bournemouth as well has been performing a lot better away. So we'll see. I think Dango will definitely get the starts, of course, with Evan Nelson coming back. It's a question as whether or not he's still going to continue playing that number 9 role. So I think he's been playing very well. I think he should continue starting until proven otherwise. So yeah, we'll see. With Gibbs White, I am tempted, but the thing is that they're going up against a very good defense, despite the fact that Arsenal's attack is not good. Defensively, they're still the same guys. You only really get a chance. A few chances and like half chances as well. So Wood can definitely do it. speaking about Wood, I think we can move on to the strikers there, and I think Wood can definitely do it, considering he only needs half a chance. So I think he's enough to go up against Arsenal, and maybe not both players. But wouldn't be surprised that Gibbs White did put in an assist there. Just not sure. I know in terms of minutes versus him and Django, Gibbs White should definitely get it. But I just like Django into attacking potential and point ceiling, really, when it comes to comparison between them. So that's that. Watkins is the guy I'm considering of transferring out. And I think definitely there, that's going to be Acuna there. So got one free transfer. It's a matter of whether or not I'm going to use it on Rodgers or I'm going to use it on Watkins. Am I going to go for a Neto or am I going to go for a Cunha? We'll see. I don't want to take a hit. If I do take a hit, I don't want to take a hit. If I do take a hit, it's because I'm really trying to chase points. I'm really trying to chase points and chase rank as well. And I know it's kind of contradicting if you're taking a hit, but I think I would take a hit for a Pedro Neto, not because he's a great player and all, but because I'm looking at it as like 2 game weeks. I would have him, and I'm actually struggling with what midfield player could I bring in, because I don't have the money to go from a Rodgers to a Mbuemo. I don't have the money to also go from a Rodgers to Bowen, which is what I really wish I would do. The thing is, Bowen would be Neto would be a transfer out. Man, it's so hard. It really is so hard. I think not just a Neto. I think it would actually also be a Bowen, because playing against Leicester at home. So, and I think Bowen is a lot more worth it, if you ask me, considering the form, than a Neto. So, yeah, in 28 he also plays, so I could keep him as well. In 28 he plays Everton. Could consider it. I'm happy with Beto. Honestly, he came in and also scored, so I think that's very clear. I think my team is really optimal right now, and would be optimized with those transfer thoughts. Enough for me to do well in the Fantasy Football G League, which is where the mentions have to come in right at the top. Number 1, keeping it locked down, showing who is boss, and still keeping that gap. Although Killer Squad has crept up behind him, the Temperature C has done very well in that number 1 spot. So he is number 1 at the moment right now, with Killer Squad coming up just about 50 points as well below him. So Killer Squad keeping it tight there at number 2. But number 3, Wayne in a number 3 coming out of nowhere is slotting them away. Coming out of nowhere, guys. I said this to y'all. Tiamo last year was number 1 for a while. And unfortunately, slipped, he got defeated by, we remember how Guardiola performed at the end of the season. But he's back, and he's back for revenge, and he's looking out. And Joseph, I thank you for acknowledging me behind you, but slotting them away is it's like fly. I just can't slot away. It's irritating, and he just keeps coming. So we gotta watch out. Tiamo, big shout out to you, man, doing well. Another Liverpool fan as well. So big ups to you, Liverpool fans. You're doing well along with your team. clearly Killer Squad, the Arsenal man, the Gunner man is slipping up, and yeah, I gotta watch out. Marcel Oscar, another man, just doesn't want to go away. Got slots away there, buy slot them away. Tiamo. Yusuf, my man, I know you can do it. Keep it up. Being up in the top 4 there as well. And then at number 5, we've got Thy Greatest A. I found out how to pronounce it. Checked it out, researched it just for you, my man. And it is actually pronounced A, as in A-I-R. The H is actually silent, but it's spelled as H-E-I-R. So A, number 5 there, Thy Greatest. Love the name, by the way. As well as the Sucker Boom, Wei Chi Chung. At number 6 there, dropping in as well. Right in front of Sono FC, I'm assuming is a Spurs fan. Not going to hate on Spurs because you're a subscriber as well. You're to the league. So, but nonetheless, well done there. Coming in at number 6, tie with Sucker Boom. And then number 8, we got Dallas Dominators hanging in there into the top 10. And it is really, really tricky down there at the bottom. I think Dallas Dominators, it's not the end of the season for him. I see him as another person, by the way. I think it's going to be a big fight between Killer Squad, slot them away, Marcel Oscar, not counting you out, A, and Sucker Boom. Sono FC, you've been around, but I think Dallas Dominators is going to make a comeback just because of how he's been hanging in to that top 4 spot over there. So Kevin, keep it in there, keep it in there. High and Mighty, making it in to the Fancy Football G top 10. It's the first time there. Welcome. I cannot remember mentioning your name, but clearly you are here in the High and Mighty top 10. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And just to round it off is the one, the only Krishna's Bloodline FC. Just to put that mark that, listen, if you don't have the blood of the top 10, then you can't be in the bloodline. So well done, guys. As it is here on the Fancy Football G channel, if you make it into the top 10, I will always give you a shout out and a mention. Well done to you guys, honestly making it really exciting. There's over 50 of you guys in the actual league, which is pretty cool. And this is what really FPL is all about, just fun. And for me, I don't know about you guys, but I've always had that one person in my life, that one friend, that one brother, where if my FPL season just sucks, I don't care as long as I beat my brother. And he's had a horrific season. I know he's watching. And I'm sure you've noticed I keep the banter low and on him. Because I know the moment I start bantering him, he just starts coming out of nowhere as well. But I think he's far enough for me to start bantering him. So yeah, you should hear some more of that. But yeah, chaps, where you at, dog? Where you at? I don't see you, man. I don't see you, dog. Either way, thank you so much, guys. Honestly, please remember to hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate your support and love as well. And I will check you guys. Remember, deadline is on Tuesday, and I'll check you guys in the next video as well. Peace.